Hey everybody, welcome back to Curiosity Dive. Today we're diving into heartwarming stories of everyday people doing extraordinary things. Let's jump right in. Our first story takes place on a bustling city street, where the hustle and bustle of daily life never seems to slow down. Picture this. It's pouring rain, and an elderly man is struggling to cover his fruit stand with a tiny, tattered tarp. The rain is relentless, and the wind is making it even harder for him to manage. Generous stranger. A young woman in a bright yellow raincoat notices him. She is on her way to work, but something about the man's struggle catches her eye. She stops, flashes him a warm smile, and pulls out a big, sturdy umbrella from her bag. Despite the rain soaking her clothes, she doesn't hesitate for a moment. She helps him secure it over his fruit stand, making sure everything is protected from the downpour. She carefully adjusts the umbrella, ensuring that no fruit is left exposed to the elements. She then proceeds to buy half of his fruit, telling him it's the least she can do. Her gesture is not just about the umbrella, it's about showing him that someone cares. The man, overwhelmed with gratitude, can barely speak. He reaches for her hand, his eyes welling up, and just says, "Thank you, bless you." His voice trembles with emotion. "Generous stranger, thank you, bless you." His words are simple, but they carry the weight of his heartfelt appreciation. The woman, with a smile that could light up the entire city, tells him it's no problem at all and continues on her way. Her smile is infectious, spreading warmth to everyone who sees it. Her small act of kindness probably turned that man's entire day around. In a world that often feels cold and indifferent, moments like these remind us of the power of compassion and human connection. For our next story, we're stepping into the halls of a high school, a place where young minds are shaped and futures are forged. Our story is about Mr. Johnson, a history teacher who brought history to life in ways that were both innovative and inspiring. Teacher who changed lives. He didn't just teach facts, he told stories that captivated his students' imaginations, dressed up as historical figures to make lessons more engaging, and organized field trips to historical sites to provide a tangible connection to the past. More than that, Mr. Johnson saw the potential in every single one of his students, recognizing their unique strengths and encouraging them to pursue their passions. He would stay late after school to help struggling students, offering personalized guidance and support. He wrote countless letters of recommendation and provided advice and mentorship long after his students had graduated, ensuring they had the tools they needed to succeed in life. For many of his students, Mr. Johnson wasn't just a teacher. He was a mentor who provided wisdom and guidance, a confidant who listened to their concerns, and a friend who celebrated their successes and supported them through their struggles. He believed in them, even when they didn't believe in themselves, instilling a sense of confidence and self-worth that many carried with them throughout their lives. Years later, Mr. Johnson received a letter from a former student who had been struggling to find his way, a heartfelt message that spoke volumes about the impact he had made. Teacher who changed lives. Mr. Johnson, you taught me that history is more than just dates and names. It's about people and their stories, their struggles and their triumphs. You taught me to believe in myself and to fight for my dreams. You changed my life in ways I never thought possible. That letter is just one testament to the incredible impact Mr. Johnson had on his students, a reminder of the lives he touched and the futures he helped shape. He wasn't just teaching history, he was shaping lives, molding young minds, and inspiring future generations to reach for the stars. His legacy will last a lifetime, carried forward by the countless students who were fortunate enough to learn from him. Mr. Johnson's story is a powerful reminder of the impact a dedicated teacher can have, a beacon of hope and inspiration for educators everywhere. It's about believing in others and helping them see their own potential, guiding them to become the best versions of themselves. And that's a legacy that will last a lifetime, a testament to the power of education and the enduring influence of a truly remarkable teacher. Hold on to your hats, folks, because our next story is one of incredible bravery and selflessness. This story takes place on a sunny afternoon at the beach. A rogue wave crashes against the shore, pulling a young boy out to sea. Heroic rescuer. A young woman, barely out of her teens, dives into the waves without hesitation. The crowd watches in stunned silence as she battles against the current, her eyes fixed on the spot where the boy disappeared. Finally, she emerges, the young boy held tightly in her arms. The crowd erupts in cheers as she brings him back to shore, exhausted but triumphant. The boy's parents rushed to their son, their faces a mixture of relief and overwhelming gratitude. Her story is a powerful reminder that courage can be found in the most unexpected places. Our next story takes us to the heart of a community where the true spirit of humanity shines brightest. It's the story of a woman named Sarah, who dedicated her time and energy to making her community a better place.
I had a gift for making people feel seen and valued.
She volunteered at a local soup kitchen, organized clothing drives, and spent time at a nursing home.
I inspired others to step up, to volunteer their time, and to give back to their community.
One day, a young boy asked Sarah why she did all of this.
Because it's important to help others. Even the smallest act of kindness can make a big difference.
Sarah's story is a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference in the world. Get ready for a powerful story of incredible generosity and the profound impact one person's decision can have on another. This is a story about the gift of life, given in the form of an organ donation. Our story focuses on a young woman named Maria, who made the selfless decision to become an organ donor. Tragically, Maria was involved in a car accident and was declared brain dead. Through organ donation, Maria's heart was transplanted into a young man who had been battling a life-threatening heart condition. The man, overwhelmed with gratitude, wrote a letter to Maria's family, expressing his heartfelt thanks. He wrote, "Your daughter's gift has given me a second chance at life." Maria's story is a powerful reminder that even in death, we have the power to give the ultimate gift, the gift of life.
Know you've been a good friend.
This next story reminds us that true kindness often shines brightest within our own communities. It's a tale that illustrates how small acts of compassion can create lasting bonds and transform lives. It's the story of two neighbors, Mrs. Peterson, an elderly widow who had lived in the neighborhood for decades, and David, a single dad who had just moved in next door with his young daughter Lily. They were strangers at first, living their separate lives, but fate had a different plan for them. One sweltering summer day, Mrs. Peterson's air conditioner gave out, leaving her house unbearably hot. The heat was oppressive, and she struggled to stay cool, feeling more and more exhausted as the day went on. David, noticing that Mrs. Peterson's curtains were drawn and her usually vibrant garden was wilting, decided to check on her. He had seen her tending to her flowers every morning and knew something must be wrong. He found her slumped on the sofa, weak and overheated. The sight of her in such distress struck a chord with him, reminding him of his own mother who had passed away a few years ago. Without hesitation, David sprang into action. He helped Mrs. Peterson to her feet, brought her a cold drink, and then set about trying to fix her air conditioner. He wasn't an expert, but he was determined to do whatever he could to help. When it became clear that the air conditioner was beyond repair, he insisted that Mrs. Peterson stay at his place until he could get a new one installed. He couldn't bear the thought of her suffering in the heat. Over the next few days, David went above and beyond to make Mrs. Peterson feel comfortable. He cooked meals for her, made sure she had everything she needed, and even took care of her garden. Mrs. Peterson, touched by David's kindness, realized that she had found a true friend in her new neighbor. She had been feeling lonely since her husband passed away, and David's generosity brought a sense of warmth and companionship back into her life. From that day forward, David and Mrs. Peterson formed a special bond. They shared meals, stories, and laughter, becoming an integral part of each other's lives. He continued to help her around the house, and she, in turn, became like a surrogate grandmother to Lily. Mrs. Peterson would often read stories to Lily and teach her how to bake cookies, filling their home with the sweet aroma of freshly baked treats. Their story is a heartwarming reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of kindness happen right next door. It's a testament to the power of community and the beautiful connections that can be formed when we open our hearts to those around us. In a world that often feels disconnected, the story of David and Mrs. Peterson shows us that true compassion and friendship can still thrive, bringing light and love into our lives when we need it most. Our final story will melt your heart and remind us that even the youngest among us have the power to inspire and make a difference in the world. It's the story of a little girl named Lily who proved that you're never too young to spread kindness.
Daddy, can we help him?
Lily noticed a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk and asked her dad if they could help him.
This is Sparkles. He brings me good luck. Maybe he can bring you good luck too.
The man, taken aback by her gesture, looked up at Lily, his eyes welling up.
Thank you, little one. You've made my day.
Lily's act of kindness, small as it may have seemed, touched the heart of a stranger that day. Wow, I don't know about you, but I needed that. These stories just go to show you that even when things seem dark, there's always light to be found in the kindness of others. It's enough to make you want to go out and do something nice for someone, right? Speaking of kindness, we would love to hear your stories. Have you ever witnessed an act of kindness that restored your faith in humanity? Or maybe you were the one who spread a little sunshine in someone's day. Share your stories in the comments below. Let's keep this positive energy flowing. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming content just like this. Until next time, keep spreading kindness, my friends.